Every kid grew up watching one of the big three. I grew up with Naruto, some kids grew up with One Piece or Bleach, or even maybe all three of them. But I finally watched One Piece. Now, I haven't watched all of One Piece, I only recently got to the Marineford War arc, and it's definitely an amazing show. One Piece characters are the highlight of the show, for sure. Each character has amazing development, and it just makes every character real. The one thing I love about One Piece is that Oda knows how to bring old characters back. I just finished the Thriller Bark arc, and although the arc itself was average, I love the fact that they brought back Laboon after about 300 episodes, and it was amazing to see that Oda still remembered a character that doesn't even have any speaking lines, and bring him back. We can instantly have an emotional connection with the character, which is something that most long-running anime forget to do, which makes One Piece amazing. One Piece is the only long-running show that I've seen where each arc is better than the last, except for one arc, but each arc is better than the last, and I think that is because with each arc we are introduced to new characters and a new island, and it really grows the world, and no arc feels out of place. Even the Thriller Bark arc doesn't feel out of place. Every arc feels like it belongs. Like, I don't think the Skypiea arc would work in any other kind of shonen show, because they are literally going to the sky and fighting God, and it's a good arc, but no other shonen show would be able to pull it off. It is a unique arc where the Straw Hats go into the land and get branded as criminals for the most petty of reasons, and because of that, some of them get separated and they have to fight literal God to save their friends, and it is executed perfectly. Now, before I get off in this segment about arcs, there's one more arc I want to talk about, and I've already mentioned it a few times in the video, the Thriller Bark arc. This arc is like a Halloween themed arc, and it just feels a little bit too long, and this arc definitely could have been shortened by like 10 episodes. I don't think anybody would be mad. The arc was slow paced, and I found myself not really caring about anything until like the last 5 episodes of the arc, where we get Brook's backstory, and the badass Zora moment. All the villain characters I found to be annoying and uninteresting, and the setting was alright, but my biggest gripe with this arc is that it comes after what I think is the best arc in the series up to this point, the NES Lobby arc. You can't even begin to compare the quality of these two arcs, but the Thriller Bark arc has an amazing end that makes me look forward to more One Piece, especially since I'm getting close to the arc that I have heard so much about even before I watched One Piece. The arc that precedes the Thriller Bark arc is absolutely amazing. The Zabadi Archipelago arc is amazing because it is the first time we see the Straw Hats get absolutely destroyed. But the other thing I like about this arc is that it's able to piss me off. I know that sounds weird, but the talk of human trafficking and slavery always pisses me off, especially when it's written, well, like it is in One Piece. The world's nobles are partaking in buying and selling people, and the government and navy knows and does nothing, and it just pisses me off the most here, because someone has money and a noble status should not mean that they are exempt from the law. But of course, the navy shows, once again, that they only care about themselves and no one else, because they easily could have stopped this, but I guess taking down one of the world's nobles' families would be seen as really bad for the rest of the world, so of course they can't do that. And on the second half of the arc, I'm curious to know why Kuma helped the Straw Hats escape from the navy, and I hope I get those answers in the time skip, but that really confused me. The emotional moments in One Piece are some of the best parts of the show. When Nami asks desperately for Luffy's help to save her all the way back in the beginning of the show, or back in NES Lobby when Robin says, "I wanna live" at the top of her lungs, or when Zoro eats all the pain from his captain so all of his friends can live and not die. All of those moments hit extremely hard, and I absolutely love One Piece for being able to have all these wonderful moments in pretty much every single arc. So the characters in One Piece are the best part of the show. Oda really knows how to write amazing characters, and it makes you feel like you're actually part of the Straw Hat crew, which is just amazing, because there aren't too many shows that are good at writing stuff like that. The main crew of characters all have interesting personalities that just make them seem super great and fun. And there are actually 2 characters I have seen that get unjust hate, one of which I have basically my favorite character so far, and the other is also amazing in a lot of ways. I see a lot of hate for Usopp for a lot of really dumb reasons. Now, first let me just say, just because a character can't fight doesn't mean they're a bad character. This is just stupid to even think. That there have been so many times where I saw people call Usopp useless just because he can't fight, or because he's a coward. But he's a coward for a good reason. His whole thing is that he wants to be a brave warrior of the sea, so if he was brave from the start, that would be a boring character. And Oda wrote Usopp to be the exact opposite, to make him a huge coward, which I love, because we actually get to see a huge amount of development for his character. He's not quite there yet, but he has gotten a lot braver, certainly a lot stronger in fights, as well. Mostly due to and part of Sogeking. I think because to Usopp, Sogeking is a hero, so he has to be brave, and that has helped Usopp's character tremendously. But seriously though, Usopp is the most human character out of all the Straw Hats. He doesn't have any special powers, and he isn't insanely smart. He's just a normal guy traveling the sea with his friends. And there's one more thing I want to talk about with Usopp, and that's when he briefly left the crew. I saw a lot of people hating on him for this, and I'm not saying that he was right, but at the time there were a lot of factors at play, and I know that everyone in the crew had a fondness for Mary, but Usopp loved the ship more than anyone else, for 2 big reasons. The first being that the ship was bought and given to them by a girl who he assumingly likes from his home village, and reason 2 being that he was always the one fixing the ship, no one else was doing it. Sometimes Chopper would help, but it was always Usopp actually fixing it, which of course would make him not want to part with the ship even more, And I'm not trying to justify his actions, I'm just stating that I understand why he felt so angry at Luffy for wanting a new ship. The side characters in One Piece are also amazing. One of my favorite side characters is Bon Clay, or Mr. 2. He's actually really cool, and he is like the friend that everyone needs and deserves. He has sacrificed himself not once, but twice for Luffy. I just love how cool this dude is, and his power is actually really cool too. Being able to change into anyone he touches is super cool, and it really comes in handy in the Impel Down arc, which really helps us to see why he is ranked number 2 in Baroque works. So Blackbeard is a super interesting character. We are introduced to him in the Jaya arc, and he didn't seem all that bad of a guy at first, but then as more and more time passed, we slowly start learning more about him and realizing that yeah, this guy is a piece of human garbage, but he seriously is insanely powerful with his Devil Fruit ability that allows him to control darkness, which can also help him temporarily take away Devil Fruit powers as long as he is touching that person. And he can also somewhat control gravity, which is just absolutely insane. But that is what makes his character insanely awesome, and I can't wait to see Luffy and the Straw Hats beat his ass. One Piece has some really good music. Every single one of the OPs are amazing, and the OSTs are amazing. And they really know how to play the music at the right time and make you feel the emotion that they want you to feel for that scene. And the music is definitely good enough to make you feel the emotion on its own without the scene being needed, and that just makes the music absolutely amazing. Although I didn't grow up watching One Piece, over these past few weeks of non-stop watching, I have absolutely fallen in love with the series. It is action-packed, emotional, and all the characters are extremely real, despite the fact that they live in a world with weird powers, like a rubber man or a lava man. But One Piece is definitely an anime that deserves the praise it gets, and now I can definitely see why it's the highest selling manga of all time and the 3rd highest selling comic book of all time. As well, it is super good. If you have the patience, and if you haven't watched it, then please do. It is actually super good, and with the ending in 5 years, we will very soon get to see the end of One Piece, and I'm absolutely looking forward to it.